La deuxième message.
Ça fait un moment qu'on dit quand même, il y a un matériel spécifique. Ah ok.
Deux absents, vous avez tout de suite depuis le début de la saison. On pense également à Sandrine Tendrenol qui a des soucis cardiaques, on le sait depuis 4 ans. Les temps de ski, on a vu que ça commence les Allemands avec un gros coup à la glisse. Nous, je pense qu'on était dans la moyenne. C'est juste un nom international pour vous dire si vous avez gagné. Encore quelques instants, quelques secondes.
119 et 370. C'est bien par la première, la première.
Oui, c'est 54.
Attention.
Allez, allez-y, vous êtes prêts tout en haut à la source.
C'est bon, merci.
On va faire l'avant, on y va. 3, 2, 1. Allez.
Ça bouge dans la cabine. Ça bouge, on va sortir apparemment. On va vérifier quand même. Mais ceux qui vont prendre le lead maintenant, c'est bien évidemment les deux commentateurs de cette course. Le commentateur et son consultant, Guillaume, Rennes, dans la cabine. Alors, ça bouge?
Ouais, ça bouge, on s'accroche comme on peut à la table, au fameux droit qu'on a derrière nous. Ouais, on va rentrer en tout cas de flotte plus sérieusement dans cette course. Fred. Bon, déjà le paysage de carte postale, il est là. Il y a du monde partout sur la piste. Ça vient de la France, même d'ailleurs.
Je regarde la chaîne des...
Justement, en direction de la montée de la source. Ce matin, j'ai eu la chance de skier et j'ai rencontré des gens qui viennent de Picardie, des Gardois, des Franc-Comtois, des Bretons, des Deux-Sèvres aussi. Donc j'ai envie de dire...
Je ne les oublierai pas, donc je leur fais un coucou. Ils me voient peut-être là d'ailleurs, mais en tout cas, il va falloir bien encourager nos athlètes durant tout ce sprint féminin. Ouais.
Elles seront 98 sur la liste de départ aujourd'hui. Alors on a elles étaient 98 sur la liste de départ, enfin quelques noms partantes. Voilà, on l'a dit avec Marco Nadalova, malheureusement la course qui a eu lieu.
Welcome back to Le Grand Bonnard as the third stage of the BMW IBU World Cup continues today with the women's sprint. A thrilling men's sprint yesterday, kicking off the action here in Stylers. Annecy hosts the Biathlon World Cup for a sixth time. It's a 7.5 kilometres that the women will be tackling today. 3 laps of the 2.5 kilometre course, one of 4 variations that we'll see in this final stop before the Christmas break. Alongside myself, Ellard, is former Team USA biathlete Chad Salmela. And Chad, heavy snow overnight, the conditions much improved for both athletes and spectators today.
Yeah, it was more like spring or fall-like conditions with pouring downfall of rain yesterday. Today, sunny skies, cold winter temperatures, and a white blanket of snow greeting all the fans and biathletes alike. And it's going to be a great day of winter sport.
And look at that, that's Le Grand Bonnard as we love to see it. That covering of snow, fans out in their masses. We're expecting around 60,000 to travel through across the 4 days of action. And well, Chad, this course first used in 2013, but quickly has become a much loved stop on the World Cup circuit. We obviously missed this stop last year. We are back now, but plenty of history as well from well before 2013.
Yeah, the French have really the era of post Martin Fourcade, one of the greatest biathletes, if not the greatest biathlete of all time on the male side, made the sport very popular. The French have always been good at biathlon, but they're particularly good in the last decade and a half, and it has really grown in popularity. And you see that in the crowds that come to this venue. This is the hot venue, the hot ticket on the biathlon circuit now because of the atmosphere here.
Yep, the party in the town going on late into the evening with the fans hanging around long after the racing had finished. And speaking of Martin Fourcade, we have seen him out and about on the course today. I wonder if we'll get another glimpse as the racing kicks off. So we're just taking a quick look through the start list, and once again, Chad, missing some big names, of course. Last season's Crystal Globe winner, one of those, Lisa Vitozzi. We were speaking to her coach during training on Wednesday, and the Italian team, well, they seem confident that she's making good progress with her sights set on returning in Oberhof. Yeah, her social media, she's pretty regular to post on social media her progress, and she's feeling like her training is going well. Her coach said he doesn't have a lot of concerns. It's more an abundance of caution that she's not here trying to finish out this first period of World Cup. They want to be ready, particularly for the World Championships in February, and you need a little bit of a ramp up when you have a bad back. So Vitozzi, we won't see her here. It's a shame, but probably not looking at trying to win the overall again and focusing more on the World Championships in February. Absolutely. The other big name, and someone who Lisa Vitozzi had plenty of big battles with last season, Ingrid Landmark-Tandervold. She continues her period of rest after heart arrhythmia problems saw her excluded from these last two events before the Christmas break. She said on her Instagram, in very good French I must add, that she's very sad to announce that she wouldn't be here. She confirmed that, of course, on her Instagram, but she said she'd been looking forward to coming here and this weekend because she said the fans are the best. And on social media, actually, I've already seen plenty of banners and love shared towards plenty saying as well that they're in their Tandervold era, and a nod towards Taylor Swift there, but of course another big miss as well, Chad. Yeah, Tandervold she's a great personality. She's maybe the most brilliant personality or vibrant personality of the entire field. And when she's gone, the whole sport misses her. Absolutely. Another two names looking to, who are taking a little break and will return in 2025, Juliana Clive and Hannah Erberg, both sorts of citing that they're not in the level of fitness that they want to be. They want to take the extra rest before Christmas and come back in good shape and really attack 2025. Chad, I think watching both of them over the course of the last fortnight and beyond, I think that's probably a good idea. I saw it in Kontiolahti. You could see the first World Cup weekend that Hannah Erberg was not herself, and Una Arnklev was clearly dealing with poor form. And when your body's not complying, as an athlete and a coach, you just simply have to go back to the ground zero and get healthy. And so that is the goal for four of those names who we, of course, would expect to see on the start list at any World Cup. But still, plenty of huge names, and particularly on the French side, as once again the flags flying high. And plenty of Breton flags in there as well, making the long diagonal journey from one tip of France to the other. The French have done well here. They've had many podiums on men's and women's side, but on the women's side, only one historic victory here. That is Justine Brassard-Boucher. So they're looking for only their second victory in women's biathlon at this venue. Yep, that was back in 2017 in the mass start. And as you walk around the venue, there is posters with pictures of that historic victory on pretty much every corner. But we are ready to get racing underway here in Le Grand Bonnard for the first of our women's races over the course of this weekend. The third stop on the BMW IBU World Cup. And it is Alexandra Makushnia, the 19-year-old from Ukraine, who pushes away the wall of noise that the athletes are met with. If you're the first runner, the last runner, they're all well supported. I was really surprised, to be honest, with how many people showed up yesterday with it downpouring. It was literally downpouring. The skies were crying. And but now we feel the difference with the size of the crowd today. It's much more raucous in the stadium. Well, Glo Ramby of Norway will be looking to bounce back from some real challenges in the range in the relay in Hochfilzen on that final day. Yeah, just a 22-year-old in her 6th World Cup start, so she's just getting her feet wet, getting this opportunity largely off the back of the fact that Ingrid Landmark-Tandervold isn't here. Ida Lean also getting an opportunity. Those two just trying to buff up their experience level. Yeah, we spoke about it a lot with the men yesterday. Is particularly for the women as well, a bit more of a transitional season where they're looking to find their next big stars. Dimitrova of Bulgaria, the 21-year-old, lots of youngsters in this early order. And Chad, just quickly as well before we head further into the race, remind us about the start groups and how that's changed this season. Yeah, so the first 15 competitors go out. It's new this year, though. The first 15 is comprised of people over the 30th place in the standings mark and carrying a fairly high level of IBU points. These are the first 15. They're not the biggest favorites, but still people who could probably figure into the top 10 of a good day.
Then the B group goes out, which is ranked 15 through 30, and they're alternated by an unseeded skiers to spread out the density of the favorites. And then finally, the third group to go out is the same thing, only with the top 15 skiers. First through 15th ranking in the overall World Cup will go out roughly, well, actually exactly between numbers 42 and 68.
So if you're expecting to see some of the big names earlier on, you'll have to wait a little bit longer before we see them. This is Johanna Skottheim of Sweden, the 30-year-old, won World Cup podium. That was back in 2020, it was, the 2021 season. She had a brilliant start to that season in Kontiolahti, but just couldn't really back it up as the season went on.
Yes, that was her most brilliant week of biathlon ever, and they continue to be her best results. But she gets an opportunity here with Hanna Uberg taking a break.
Shravatova of Czechia.
208 starts for her. Shravatova, a veteran of the team. Very strong skier. When she's in her best form, can threaten the best skiers in the world, in the sport, but has always struggled with standing, has Shravatova.
Take a look at the first time check that the athletes will come through is 700 meters into the race, and Glo Ramby, who is very quick on the skis, the Norwegian, really impressing. Just 6 starts, and here this season on the World Cup circuit, that has been the thing that we've been keeping an eye out for, particularly that ski time as she just descends down the climb that we can just see out of the window, and the fans are about 10 deep at the top of that climb. It's brilliant support up that slope. Kurm of Estonia, wearing bib number 8, no top 10 finishes in her career.
In her 79th start, though, she's got a lot of experience, 28-year-old. Personal best of 18th. She did that back in 2024, last season, in the individual in Östersund to start the season. Course looks in really good shape. It was absolutely saturated yesterday by the time we left the venue yesterday. Today it looks like a completely different place. It's frozen overnight, and then got about 5-6 inches or about 10-12 centimeters of snow.
Yeah, and well, the fans a lot happier to be out on the course today. They were bright and early to try and secure those positions as close to the railings as they can get.
Well, you can see the camera flattens downhills and uphills, so you can see how steep that looks on TV. If it looks that steep on TV, this is a really steep climb that Skottheim is climbing up to the 0.7 kilometer mark. It's a high point. The first high point of the course drops down and climbs gradually to the highest point.
And as our first athletes, of course, out on the tracks, it is a course that, in similar fashion to Hopfilson, a long descent down into the range.
Yeah, this is probably one of the easier approaches to a shooting range. Not high altitude, at about 3,000 feet, about 1,000 meters of altitude, so not really altitude, so to speak. So this is a relatively easy range to crack. Although watching the wind here, it does pick up a little bit in the middle of the range, and the ends of the range are a little bit different than the middle of it.
Yep. The wind certainly picking up from zeroing, so it'll be interesting to see the first athletes come through the range and how they're watched by the coaches from the other teams as they try and pass that information further back down the course. Well, here's someone who's incredibly popular in these parts, Sophie Chauveau, competing in her hometown. She's wearing bib 22, so we'll see her shortly.
See Paulina Fialkova-Batowska, 4-time second in her career, 9 podium finishes. Coming back from having birth of her first child 2 seasons ago, has never really quite matched the fitness she had before the COVID era. She was a perennial fast skier, but has struggled to get back to that level that she was before 2020.
Leah Meyer in the colours of Switzerland. Also only 45 minutes or so from Geneva. The athletes passing through Geneva on their way up into the mountains here, secluded part of the Alps.
23 years of age, personal best 23rd, but here's her teammate ready to start. Had a great season last year. This is Lena Hacky-Gross. Her breakout season last year finished in 6th spot in the overall standings. But
Lena
first,
on the bench.
The pinch, one of the kind of a bright star for the up-and-coming Slovenia. She's only 21, has an 18th. It's 18th place finish in just 38 starts, so that's a good start for the 21-year-old.
And of course, as well, part of that Slovenian team who performed so well in the relay last weekend in Hochfilzen, both the men and women finishing 4th, and celebrations will continue. I'm sure they're trying to carry that momentum into this week.
Going up to the 1.5 kilometer mark now. They've got some skiing under their belt at this point, and Lucy Sharvatova was the fastest through the first time check. She's going to be the fastest by 3.5 seconds. It's a pretty big lead already by Sharvatova.
Yeah, all her flower ceremonies and podiums in this event is certainly a best event by some way. Lena Haki-Gloss, as Chad rightly said, had a brilliant end to last season, securing some really important victories, not just for herself as well, but for the Swiss team on a whole.
Here's the first Norwegian, second skier on the course to come into the shooting range. She's leading the Ukrainian Markushina by 17.2 seconds. You see the graphic low on the lower side of the corner. That is going to compare the skier coming into the person who's leading after shooting number 1. Since nobody's left yet, they're comparing it to Markushina.
So Lambi with some work to do to get over the performance in the range last weekend. Good recovery from that first miss.
Yeah, but she won't lead after 2 athletes. Markushina was clean, not skiing anywhere near as fast as the Norwegian, but clean on the range, and that's the essence of biathlon.
Yep, so it'll be once round the 150-meter penalty loop for Golorambi.
Dimitrova comes in leading by 15.8 seconds, so skiing fast and clean. This should be the new leader.
Yep, a really good start for the Bulgarian as she makes her way out of the range. She will lead. Let's take a look at the margin as Gololambi joins her from behind. 17 seconds up on Markushina.
Early going still. 98 starters on the day. Here is number 5 of those starters. Skotheim hasn't been on the World Cup for a couple of years. Getting her opportunity here today. She comes in with 6.1 seconds in hand. So skiing well compared to the first 5 skiers ahead of her. Want to be in that first shot somewhere under 20 seconds. 17, 18 seconds is quick. 20, 21 starts to be slow. 16 seconds, first shot, fast. Nice, even 2-second cadence. Oh, but there's a miss.
So 1 miss on her first visit of the range. Just 2 shooting stages, 1 prone, 1 standing.
Shooting range has some intermittent increase in wind, but nothing really different from the zeroing period yet. There's a miss by Sharvatova. Sharvatova, a 72% prone and just 54% standing shooting in the season. So shooting a little better than average. She's 72%. She gets 4 out of 5. Here's the Finn, Leinamo. And she comes into the shooting range with 7.2 seconds in her hand.
Yeah, personal best finish on home snow in the sprint in Kontiolahti at the start of this season. Finishing 27th. Sophie Chauveau, the noise increasing, the flags flying high in front of the commentary box because Sophie Chauveau making her way out onto the circuit. 2 misses, 3 misses for Leinamo.
Sonia Leinamo couldn't hear herself think in that shooting stage. If you're relatively new to the World Cup like Leinamo is, she's in her 21st start only. That kind of noise while you're shooting, that might bother you, might rattle you a little bit.
Anna-Maria Lampic, best performance of the season so far in the sprint in Hochfilzen. Such a quick skier, Chad, but the shooting accuracy just isn't there to really compete for podiums at this point.
She's 7% faster than the average of the field. The only person close to her and is about 0.7% back is Elvira Uber. She's much quicker, but Lampic only 57% shooting so far, so she's going to have to get struck by lightning today and hit some targets to have a chance to win. Here's Baiba Bendika, though.
The outer three, this is a good start for the Latvian, coming in 5.5 seconds quicker, and she goes clean. Really good start from one of the popular faces on the World Cup circuit.
Bendica, if you watch her a lot, you can see her when she is focused and when she isn't focused. She is hot and cold in her focus. Focus was great. She was very calm and knocked targets down with a nice rhythm. That was great shooting.
3.9 seconds her advantage coming out of shooting one.
So she takes the lead by 3.9 seconds over Dimitrova, number 3. Only 8 athletes through the first shooting so far, so just getting going. Joanna Jakiela now for Poland. Comes into the shooting range 4.1 seconds ahead of the current leader, Bendica. Range looks pretty much like 0 still. These athletes probably choosing to shoot on the shooting point at or near where they zero their rifle on a paper target to make sure they're in the center. They adjust their sights for wind and light. Light today could factor into it with a little bit of light coming to the right side of their eye as the sun goes down in the west. Batowska-Fialkova. She's been on the podium a bunch. Good start for her.
Yeah, really good start. Clean in the prone position. As we look a little bit further down the course, Sophie Chavot making a good start.
That's a realistic start there. That's a good time for the A and B seed skiers to chase now Fialkova, and they'll know that name. Everybody knows Fialkova at her best is a challenger.
Well, this grandstand behind the range and next to the start, packed out once again. Selina Golotian of Germany, just 20 years old, no individual podiums, but 5th in the sprint in Hochfilzen, the second best finish, and also that historic first win in 4 years in the women's relay for Germany.
In these early runnings, these early time splits before they shoot, it's actually nice to have somebody like Batowska-Fialkova, who has the experience, who knows what a World Cup is like, and is setting a pace that is realistic to challenge the seeded skiers. Grotian going to fall just outside that time. And it gives us just a little bit more of an insight as to where they're probably going to stack up against the very best in the field.
Anna Andekse started her season on the IBU Cup before making the step up and her debut on home snow in Hochfilzen last weekend.
Andekse skiing fast. She was only 6.6 seconds back of Batowska. That's faster than she's used to skiing than her average, but maybe just unsettling her just a little bit with that miss. Here's Lena Häcki-Gross now. She's 10.9 seconds back. That's surprising. Lena Häcki-Gross is only skiing 1% faster than the average of the field. Her average last season was 3% faster than the average, so she's dropped 2% in her skiing. Makes me wonder if she's maybe keeping the training load high and making sure that her fitness is there at the World Championships.
So there's 2 misses and it will be 300 extra meters, and she's got all tangled. She dropped her pole, and so really having to work hard to get that momentum back.
When she's at her best, she is great, but the differences between her best skiing form and her normal skiing form are pretty great. Getting a little concerned as we're wrapping up period 1 that her skiing hasn't come around yet.
Anna-Maria Lampic.
Oh, that's fast.
10.2 seconds.
That's
the advantage, and that is incredibly quick. Hannah Ockenthaler, who has run quite hot and cold in the range during the start of this season. She's had some brilliant clean shooting, but then other days where it's all just fallen apart. And let's take a look back quickly at just what happened when
look, she just dropped
Lena
her pole.
Häcki-Gross, just couldn't get her hands properly into the loop at the top of her pole, and I wonder if does it look like it's broken slightly?
No, she has the grips that actually the strap comes off with a click of a button, so she just didn't have her strap on. But Lampic going 10 seconds faster now at 1.5 kilometers than Chavot, who was 3 seconds faster than Batowska-Fialkova. So both of those athletes faster than Batowska-Fialkova. But you're going to hear the roar of the French crowd when Chavot comes in. But first, we're going to look at the young German.
Yep, and she comes in 1.5 seconds in the lead. Carrying really good speed down that final downhill into the range. And part of a very strong, very exciting young German contingent. And this is a good start in the prone position, 3 out of 3. Nice rhythm as well.
Grotjean's such a great platform from a prone position, really great technician. And Sverre Olsbu likes what he sees for the German.
Yep. Skiing 3% quicker than average this season, and 4.7 seconds. That's a healthy lead for the young German.
Now Grotjean can put a little bit more into the ski in the second loop, take a little bit more of a chance. She is in good position now, but she's only bib 20. Wants to race the people behind her. She can't see, but here's Sophie Chavot.
Yep. The 25-year-old didn't come higher than 50th in Kontiolahti, but Hochfilzen was very happy hunting ground, and she'll have eyes on performing well here on home snow, her hometown.
She broke out here 4 years ago and finished 4th in the sprint, but a miss. You can hear the groan of the crowd as Lampic, who started 30 seconds behind her, made up most of that time.
So just one miss for Sophie Chavot, and so interesting to hear the French crowd drop deadly silent between hits. Well, this is nice from Anna Maria Lampic. Take a look at that. She's gone clean.
All right.
What a start. This is excellent.
Lightning has struck. Anna Maria Lampic goes clean for the first time in any shooting stage this season, and she is going to take a commanding lead over the young Grotjean. It's going to be inside 15 seconds. But watch out now. This could be a first podium or victory. She's been 5th twice. This skier was the World Cup overall sprint champion the last year she competed in cross-country skiing.
Yeah, we will keep a very keen eye on her as Sara Anderson pushes away all her flower semis, which she's been involved in 2, and all her top 10 finishes all in this event. This is her best event by some margin, mostly owing to the fact that it's only 2 shooting stages.
Here's Bendika now for the second shooting stage.
Yep, in for her standing shoot.
Leading at this point in the order, but she's got Batowska-Fialkova chasing her.
And there's a first miss.
Yeah, really couldn't afford a miss to stay in the picture. And there's 2 of them.
Yep, twice around the penalty loop.
There's Belgian Lotte Lee on the start. She's her World Cup best is 10th, has 109 starts. The top of the Belgians, actually half Norwegian, half Belgian, and she lives and trains in Norway.
We'll keep an eye out as well for Maya Klottens of Belgium, who had a really good performance in Hochfilzen. She's already out on the course, as Jakiela of Poland in for her standing shoot, her final visit to the range, and then it will be once more around the 2.5 kilometer loop.
Only 1 clean shooter so far through 6 athletes to go through the second standing. Jakiela, though, misses, and Batowska-Fialkova in the breakout is the leader coming in.
There's a miss for Batowska-Fialkova, though.
2 of them. I was going to say she can almost absorb this and still take the lead, but two trips around the penalty loop will not allow her to take the fastest time.
Yeah, 39.3 second advantage coming into the range, and 150-meter penalty loop. You're looking at around about 23, 24 seconds.
So it's Johanna Skottheim after shooting number 2. Most of the stars yet to start. They'll be starting in bibs 29 to 68. We get a shot of this unique course winding its way into the shooting range. And we're following Klottens.
Yep. race weekend she had in Hochfilzen as Elvira Urberg, who's looking to bounce back from disappointment in Hochfilzen after starting so well in Kontiolahti. It was Maja Klossens, though, with a personal best, finished 12th in the pursuit. She finished 19th in the sprint. Her World Cup debut only last year in Chad. There were signs before. She was a very promising young athlete.
Yeah, I think this is somebody Belgium's going to remember in biathlon. She's still got a long way to improve or to go in her development, but doing very well here. And don't let that 21
going clean. That's nice.
Don't let that 21.9 seconds in throw you off. That's Anna Maria Lampic clean. I'll be surprised if anybody comes in faster than 21 seconds or even challenging Lampic the rest of the field. Really, probably the only person who may do that is Uber. Gluttons into fourth after shooting number one. That's a good start for her.
And that's why the noise is cranked up once again. Justine Bressard-Boucher, the only French woman to win here at Le Grand Bonnard, is about to start her race. And the noise, deafening.
And she knows that Anna Maria Lampic is clean. Everybody starting still knows that Anna Maria Lampic has 5 of 10 targets down, and that is a huge threat.
She's quick on the skis, though. Not quite Anna Maria Lampic, a level of fast. There's very few who can match that, but 6% quicker than average. Justine Bressard-Boucher looking to replicate what she did back here in 2017 in the mass start.
Bressard-Boucher is just 1.2 seconds slower on average than Lampic per kilometer, so she's one to watch. Is Jean Richard now getting the hometown crowd cheers? Comes in 18 seconds down. Again, I think we're going to see 18, 15 seconds. Going to be pretty much the average of deficit coming into this shooting range now that Lampic is clean.
Julia Simon in her short sleeves receives the same wall of noise as Justine Bressard-Boucher, and then it drops to respect the shooting of Richard. Just 22 years old. 98% prone so far this season, though, and this is a good start. 3 out of 3 for Richard. That's 4. And the cheers as she goes clean.
Slow and deliberate, but slow and deliberate got the job done. Good start for Jean Richard.
And we take a look at Glotian. There's the first miss.
Glotian came in with 16 seconds on Batowska-Fialkova, but Batowska-Fialkova also had 2 misses. Here's Schottheim now, 9 for 10. Gonna set the time to beat in the early running order.
Yeah, they crossed the line. 26.4 seconds, her lead.
Schottheim coming off of a solid weekend, the IBU Cup in Yale last week, where she was 3rd in the sprint and 4th in the pursuit, and that got her to this World Cup start. Here's Sharvatova now trying to take her time down. It's going to be close.
It is going to be close indeed. 2 misses on the day for Lucy Sharvatova, but it will be a lead as things stand, 4.2 seconds.
That's a good performance by Sharvatova. Now Lampic.
Here we go. Anna Maria Lampic, clean in the prone position. She takes a big, deep breath. She is flying round this course. A first hit. She's focused. This is really good from Anna Maria Lampic. There's the first miss. Can she recover? 2
big jumps on the trigger. Oh, she gets 3. That's a great performance. She's never shot 80% this year.
Yep. 8 out of 10, twice round the penalty loop. She is incredibly quick.
Looking back in the early going out before the shooting, though, Elvira Ubert comes through the first time check, just 0.4 of a second back of Lampic, so she's matching her on the skis early.
Sophie Chauveau, 2 misses. And you can see the disappointment there on her face. She'd have wanted a lot more from that. The local athlete, just a shake of the head as she pulls away.
It's a very subtle thing in the sport to be able to manage the expectations in this sport. It's such a head game on the shooting range, and I think Chauveau she wanted it maybe just a bit too much. There's Anderson in 3rd now after prone.
Franziska Preuss now wearing the yellow and red split bib, the most consistent athlete in the first 3 stages of competition on the 24-25 BMW IBU World Cup by quite some margin. She's not finished in individual competitions this season any lower than 5th, and she definitely has the wind in her sails. Justine Bressard-Boucher, let's take a look at this. As she comes up to the 1.5-kilometre mark, Anna-Maria Lampic leading the way, and well, she is quite far behind, and she's got traffic to get through as well. As she comes towards the line, 5 seconds behind third at the 1.5-kilometre mark.
4 seconds down to Elvira Uberg, who's ahead of her on the course. Elvira Uberg in 44, Bressard-Boucher in 46. They start a minute apart from each other. Almost perfectly timed for the shooting range to follow each of those athletes. Lampic now with an 8 out of a 10, and that's in the back of everybody's mind. Salmela Kamola, Italy, into the standing, trailing Grotjean by 34.6 seconds. Really solid hold, good platform on the standing position, does Kamola.
And she goes 10 out of 10. Very nice from the Italian.
Nice focus, really strong trigger control. Nothing looks like she's thinking about trying to hit the shot. Usually when you miss standing, you're trying to grab the shot because you have a good sight picture. She just shot right through whatever her sight picture looked like. That was beautiful shooting.
17.2 seconds down, she exits the range after the second shooting stage in 4th. Elvira Uberg needing a big performance here, and she comes in fractionally in the lead. 0.8 seconds, and that is very important because of just how quick Anna-Maria Lampic was going. There's a miss. Can she get back on track?
Has to hold it together. Oh, 2!
2 misses for Elvira Uberg, who started this season so well in Kontiolahti and just couldn't replicate it in Hochfilzen, and 2 misses on the first shooting stage is not what you need at all.
Lampic challenging the rest of the field now, and the one person who can match, one of 2 people who can statistically match her on the skis, has 2 penalties where Lampic is clean. Lampic, of course, missing 2 in the next stage, so Elvira Uberg can pull even with a clean second stage if she keeps the ski speed up.
The pressure will be on that standing position. Justine Bressard-Boucher dropping down into the prone position for her first shoot. She's 2.7 seconds behind the time of Lampic coming into the range. Maya Klottens as well in for her standing shoot, her final visit to the range. And Bressard-Boucher goes clean in the prone position. Could it be another historic day for France? The fans think so. There's still a long way to go in this race, but it's a perfect start from the French lady who goes top. 0.5 seconds, her advantage on Anna-Maria Lampic.
Lampic is faster on the skis. Bressard-Boucher took a little bit of time out of her on the shooting range, but now we go to standing. And even though neither of them are stellar standing shooters, Bressard-Boucher is eons better from the standing position than Lampic. She knows Lampic has 2. This is a prime spot, a prime opportunity for the French to take home the victory for this crowd.
And here is the next French woman into the range, Julie Simon. The recognisable short sleeves. And the first hit. World champion in both the sprint and the pursuit. 4 for 4, the crowd love it. A miss on the last, once round the penalty loop.
And the skiing we've seen from Julia Simon this year and the start of that loop, she's not skiing fast enough to challenge Lampic and Bressard-Boucher without better shooting. So she has to go 9 for 10 to have a chance.
And here is Selina Glottian on her way towards the finish line. It's potential to be quite close for that first place. She's over the line. Anna-Maria Lampic, though, is not far behind her, so she's 42.5 seconds in the lead, but that won't hold for very long indeed. Jean Richard.
Oh, she jumped on that one. You saw her barrel dip before she shot. So Richard, not with the speed to challenge Lampic or even Grotjean for that matter, but Grotjean with one miss skiing very well. She's only trailing Lampic by 6.1 seconds with one less miss.
Dorothea Wehrle in for her first shoot. Camila Zuk coming towards the finish line. And Grotjean remain in the lead. Anna-Maria Lampic in the closing stages of her race. Dorothea Wehrle, 5 out of 5, clean in the prone position.
Trailing by 20.4 seconds coming in was Vera. And here's Lampic now to the finish.
Yep. Anna-Maria Lampic. Could this be the final pushes towards a first podium?
Making time on Grotjean at every time check. Not surprising, but how much time can she get on the rest of the field? She's racing for every second against people she can't see.
6.4 seconds. Anna-Maria Lampic, has she done enough for her first career podium? 8 out of 10 in the range, a clean prone shoot.
I'm looking at Grotjean with a miss and her being that close to Lampic. I think that both Uberg and Brysa Boucher have a chance to take her down.
Well, here's the best performer of the Norwegians in this early part of the season, Carolina Norton. 2 misses now, though.
Just not quite on. There's Sarah Anderson now. She was clean from the prone position. She comes in +7 to Grotjean.
There's a miss, though.
Yeah.
8 out of 10 as well, and particularly when you look at the ski speed of Anna-Maria Lampic, that's Sara Anderson out of the picture. Here's Franziska Preuss, the yellow bib holder.
Trailing by 11.
Yeah, but in for her first prone shoot.
So I'm looking at Lampic's last lap as we watch Franziska Preuss go 3 for 3, 4 for 4.
And the yellow bib is clean.
Really strong performance by Preuss. You have to, so I'm going to go back and look back at the splits. Lampic actually came home pretty slow on that last loop. She only outskied Grotjean by 6 seconds in the last lap. So maybe Lampic a little too fast in the start and slowing down at the end.
Lottely of Belgium. Clean and prone, but a first miss in the standing position.
Came out with a good time, 13.9 back. Just so much going on in this range. The shooting range itself is not problematic, but the noise, the excitement.
Well, Xian Michelon wearing the blue bib, and well, what a story she has and a connection to this venue. 2013, she was here as a fan. Johannes Tinger's Bo gave her his flowers after his first victory, and that sparked her love for the sport, and she's gone clean in the prone position, the blue bib wearer. She'll come out in third, 9.4 seconds behind Justine Bréchard-Boucher.
Now, if you look at Michelon and Grotjean, and you look at where Grotjean is at the finish, she's only 6 seconds back of Lampic at the finish with one more miss. If Ocean goes clean, she can beat Lampic, just the way she's skiing right now. So she's in a good spot with that clean shooting stage.
Some brilliant pictures of the flowers dried out. almost a decade old, or over a decade old now. Suvi Minkinen, who's well, having an excellent start to the season, 7th in the overall standings, 1 miss in the prone position. She comes in for her standing shoot. A drastic increase in terms of ski speed so far this season, and 6% better in the prone position.
Great focus by Minkinen. Goes
Yep.
9 for 10.
That's brilliant.
It's not going to be a win, or it may not even be a podium, but it'll guard her spot in that 7th place in the overall standings.
It doesn't need to be for her, it's the consistency, and that's what's been incredibly impressive. She's incredibly driven as well, and we spoke to her briefly this morning. She seems incredibly relaxed.
Minkinen out in 7th, right where her world ranking is. Here is Uberg now. We know that Lampic started to fade in the last lap.
She needs to go clean here. She needs to hit all 5 standing. It's a big ask now for Elvira Uberg.
And Justine Brassard-Boucher started a minute behind her and has caught her. Uberg
Another miss for Uberg. That's her out of the race for a podium and the win. Brassard-Boucher, a first hit as Elvira Uberg misses once again. It's only 6 out of 10 for Elvira Uberg. A miss for Brassard-Boucher, but it's just one miss on the day. 9 out of 10. 13.9 seconds she led coming into the range.
She still has 45 seconds to get around the penalty loop and head out on course. She should take the lead from Lampic and Grotjean. Hannah Ockenthaler with a great performance, clean on the day, and heading to the finish.
Well, this is Hannah Ockenthaler at her very best, and really, if she can find that consistency in terms of keeping these clean shooting stages, then she is more than one to watch for the future. Hannah Ockenthaler over the line in 4th, 30.7 seconds down on Anna Maria Lampic, but that's a really good performance from the Italian.
Just put it in perspective, she was 60th last year in the overall standings, currently 30th. There's Jean Minot now.
Yep, Jean Minot, 4 for 4. Goes clean in prone, this is nice, Jean Minot. 11.8 seconds, she trailed coming into the range. Let's keep our eyes on the time as she comes out. 10.2 seconds, quick shooting as well.
Puts her in 4th after shooting 1.
It's only the 2nd time that she's raced here at Le Grand Bonnard. The first time she finished 9th in the sprint, 6th in the mass start. It was at the start of her very first season competing on the World Cup circuit. Jean Richard, as we see a first miss for Julia Simon. Eyes very much on this French contingent competing on home snow. Jean Richard pushing towards the line. It's a good recovery from Julia Simon. 5th for now for Jean Richard.
French are stepping up in this competition. They are currently 1st, 3rd, and 4th after the first shooting stage. Brassard-Boucher with a miss, leading after shooting 2 over Grotjean with a miss, and Lampic was trailing with 2 misses, 21 back. But we know that Lampic took a lot of time out of Grotjean.
Idalin receiving a call up and stepping up into the World Cup squad.
Oh, Veer starts with a miss in the breakout. Lean with a good ski time coming in. 11 seconds back of the leader, Lampic. Really taking her time, though.
Yeah, but a good start for the Norwegian. A nod of the head from Ziggy Marseille, and that's what they need. They need to find consistency in this Norwegian squad. Vanessa Voigt, who also performed so well last week in Hochfilzen, 2nd place in the pursuit.
You know, watching Idalin shoot, you have to take a little bit of a chance when these fast skiers are shooting so well. You have to take a little bit of a chance to bring your shooting time down. As Voigt comes through now in the top, just outside the top 10.
Well, she's one to keep an eye on because she's arguably the best of these latest starters, wearing bib 66. Anna Magnusson is starting 2 places behind her. Only career win here in 22-23 in the sprint, and right on cue, she makes her way into the range for the first time. Anna Magnusson dropping down into prone.
Something special about coming back to the last time you won a race, to the venue when you were the winner. This is her only place she's ever won a race. Got to also give you a little bit of confidence. Comes in with a solid time, 13 seconds back. But that day she skied uncommonly fast for herself when she won.
But she's clean in the prone position this time round.
Good start. Ball's just outside the top 3. Now Preuss.
Yep, Franziska Preuss leading in the overall standings. She's never featured on a podium here in Annecy.
Has to be clean. Look at the gap, 18 seconds.
Yep, she has to be clean and she has to be quick. And she's certainly quick, and now she's clean. 10 out of 10 for Franziska Preuss. And I believe that's the first time she's shot clean in an individual event so far this season. This could be very special for the German, who is firing on all cylinders this season.
She's going to take the lead by just under 5 seconds. Now she has to giddy up and go, though, on this final lap.
This could be something very special indeed for Franziska Preuss. Well, the French home fans were hoping to see a French woman on the top of the podium for just the second time in 6 events.
Bryce Boucher is going to be well inside the time of Grotian and Lampic at this point. I don't think Lampic can contend with the 2 misses. It comes down to this French woman, the German World Cup leader, and I was going to say Michelin, but she's, right as I said it, she got a miss.
A miss for Michelin, who came in very quick. That's 2 misses now, and again, the frustration evident on her face, and that of the coach. 2 times round the penalty loop, an additional 300 metres to her race today.
And let's not forget Lou Jean Minot. She's bib 62, late in the order, still sitting in the 4th spot. But Bryce Boucher, Grotian, both with a miss. 2 misses for Lampic. It's still doable for Jean Minot, but she's got to be clean, but that's what she's great at.
Here's Venla Lehtinen. Also, like her compatriot Suvi Minkkinen, has really stepped it up in terms of ski speed this season, but doesn't quite have the same accuracy that Suvi Minkkinen has to be consistent. But this will be a good finish for the Finn.
Yeah, Lehtinen, this could be a high water mark for her.
Yeah, I think it will be.
Best is 36, and she's going to be way inside that.
A huge personal best finish you'd expect for Venla Lehtinen. Incredible effort, and you can see just how much it's taken out of her. And the Finnish women really holding it to the men.
Yeah, they're roommates, Minkkinen and Lehtinen. I've seen Lehtinen, she hasn't shot quite as well as her teammate. But now, Justine Bryce Boucher has 27 seconds. She's got it. She's going to take the lead, but the question is by how much, and will it be enough to hold off Preuss?
Exactly that. Justine Bryce Boucher welcomed home by an ecstatic French crowd. She'll take the lead, but how long will it be for? Only one woman has stood atop the podium here at Le Grand Bernard, and that is her. Will she do it again? Justine Bryce Boucher, 13.7 seconds the advantage, but Franziska Preuss has shot clean and is flying.
All you can do is leave it all out there, and that is exactly what Bryce Boucher did.
Once again, another disappointing result from Elvira Urberg. 4 misses on the day, 1 minute, 23 seconds down on Justine Bryce Boucher. And, well, the Swedes, after starting so strongly in Kontiolahti, they just haven't been able to take that momentum and do anything with it. But Justine Bryce Boucher, who have really been waiting for her to arrive here on the World Cup this season, well, this will be a podium. You can't really see past that, and it's just a question of where will she stand really now.
Well, she knows the feeling of winning here. She's the only French woman to ever do it. Could she do it again? She is tight with Preuss, 3.2 seconds at 4.7K. So she's made time. Bryce Boucher has made time retroactively on Preuss, but look at the rain. Jean Minot.
Yeah, I'll focus really on our French women out on the course and in the rain. Julia Simon rounding the corner into the finish line. It's a miss for Lou Jean Minot. It's another miss for Lou Jean Minot. And that's 3 misses in a row. That's her out of contention for top spots here. Julia Simon. Will she force her way onto the podium? It's 4th for Simon. 37.5 seconds down.
So Bryce Boucher holding it together. The rest of the French, so much pressure for these French women to deliver, but Bryce Boucher may have done it. Here is the time we're watching for.
Yep.
1 shot better, but she was leading, but not by much. She led after shooting 2 by 4.6. At 5.7, she was 3.2 back. And now where will she be at the 6.5?
Yeah, Franziska Preuss.
It's tight.
It's tight. Keep your eyes on the time. It's going to be so tight. There'll be fractions in it. Just under a second, 0.9. She trails Bryce Boucher.
And she got the information right when we were calling. You see a coach running out, looking at a watch. She's going to know right where she is. Here's Ella Halverson now, but she has a miss.
Yep, that's two misses now for Ella Halverson. So tries around the penalty loop for her.
I mean, we missed her story. She was just 4.7 seconds coming in arrears, but you have to hold together. The pressure so high.
Well, this is interesting because Idolin is 2.4 seconds behind Franziska Preuss.
Could she spoil the French party?
This would be a huge upset after stepping up from the IBU Cup, and there's the miss though. And well, it's consecutive misses to end out her shooting stages. 300 meters added to her race as well. We're back with Franziska Preuss. Shooting clean. This is, well, a brilliant effort from the German, but does she have it on the skis to clinch the victory from the palms of Justine Bressard-Boucher?
She's got 30 seconds to get to the finish. I'm just trying to watch. Body language was good.
It's going to be close, though.
Nice snappy kicks. She doesn't look like she's dying. She looks like she's got enough energy to fight. Trying to take the second win of the season, third of her career only.
Well, here we go. She's round the corner. The clock is ticking down. Does she have it in her to take another victory? Just the third of her career this would be. It's going to be incredibly tight. The Frenchwoman's done it. Justine Bressard-Boucher stands atop the podium here in Annecy once again. The only Frenchwoman to do it. France victorious on home snow. Franziska Preuss just 1.4 seconds in it. She gave it everything. And now the wait. The crowd erupted. And now it's a case of just wait and see. Surely that is enough. Vanessa Voigt wearing bib 66, arguably the only one now who can upset the party.
Voigt is clean, but she came into the range. Here's Magnuson. Magnuson came in 8.8 seconds back. She's fighting for a podium as Magnuson, but she's got that. She had that miss, so she'll be out of the picture.
Yep.
So now we're just waiting for the time. For shooting two. Magnuson not going to be in the top 5.
No.
It's at the top 8 now.
And Vanessa Voigt is 16.5 seconds down despite shooting clean.
Yeah, I don't see Voigt making up that 16.5 seconds. And Yulia Zhima snuck through there as well in third after shooting number 2 from Ukraine. So 2 clean shooters. Zhima 14.6 seconds back. Voigt 16.5 seconds back. Again, I don't know if I'd gift wrap that win yet, but I would be surprised to see Zhima or Voigt make up that much time. 14.6 for Zhima, 16 for Voigt.
It would take something spectacular now to take that victory out of the hands of Justine Bressard-Boucher.
Lampic, the fastest course time on the day, of course, no surprise there. She's been doing that all season. But Bressard-Boucher, the next fastest, and 9 for 10.
Right, here we go. We're with Vanessa Voigt, who is currently behind the pace of Franziska Preuss, and we're dropping down.
Yeah, she's losing time.
And the French crowd, well, the flags were up, they were flying. Oceane Michelon is coming around the final part of her race.
We haven't seen Yulia Zhima's race. She's clean on the day and having a really burner of a ski race for her. Her statistics this year on the ski speed, she's 1% slower than the average of the field. So she's on the slow half of the entire aerobic field. With the clean shooting and a relatively strong ski performance by her today, has her competing with Lampic.
Can she find a way onto the podium here? She is sitting in 4th at the 6.5 kilometer mark. 1 kilometer left to race, 19.5 seconds. She's down on the leader, but only 2.5 seconds behind Anna Maria Lampic, which was quite spectacular. I mean, she has shot clean, where of course it was an extra 300 meters for Anna-Maria Lampic, but it's a really good performance for Julia Zima.
Yeah, Lampic with 7 seconds on Grotian. I think the interesting picture now is, will Lampic get her first ever biathlon podium after 4 years in the sport? It's been a long slog for her, and we've been talking, you and I have been talking about the 57% shooting average. She needs to approach the sport a little bit more with shooting in mind, and she did that today. She hit 8 for 10, shooting almost 30% better than her average.
It's so interesting to see the demeanour of the French crowd erupting when Francisca Preuss crossed the line, and now they're deadly silent once again just down in front of us, pensive and waiting. The celebrations will be quite spectacular. Julia Zima, though,
I don't think the crowd has to worry about much. I'm not seeing a lot of threats. This is the biggest threat to Braissa Boucher, but she's already going to go past. She's got 4 seconds to get there. It's over for. I think we can now say Braissa Boucher is likely to win, very likely to win this race.
Well, this is exactly what this French crowd have been waiting for.
It's going to be a season best for Zima. Into fourth.
And well, that's particularly important for Anna-Maria Lampic, who is still holding on to that third spot. We are waiting for Vanessa Voigt as well. She's in the last kilometre of her race. This is Lou Jean Monod. It just hasn't been her day by any means.
She's been so solid all season long. It was a very uncharacteristic standing shoot that we saw. She basically she started thinking about it and missed the last 3 shots. She was in position to possibly take the win, but she's going to be over a minute and a half, or just under a minute and a half out.
The sprints haven't quite been clicking for her yet this season. Where we've seen her drop down the results, it has been in the sprint. 17th in Contiolate. She was 4th in Hochfilzen, dropping 1 on the day. I mean, you can't really argue that that's too far deviation from form, but particularly that result in Contiolate, and once again here today.
Where that's going to sting her is in the overall standing.
Yeah.
She's shooting second. She's outside the top 20 now, and Preuss takes a huge advantage over Jean Monod. She'll drop down the overall standings and fall behind Elvira Oberg and probably, well, maybe Marquette DeVito.
Yeah, well, it was only 29 points, the gap behind Francisca Preuss going into today, and with Preuss, well, looking very, very likely, if not certain at this point, as Vanessa Voigt coming towards the line. Will it be outside the podium? Certainly it will be. So really there, she's the best of our late starters. So Anna-Maria Lampic
is going to get a podium.
Her first podium of her career. 2 misses, but when you're Anna-Maria Lampic, you can afford 2 misses. 2 misses really for her, the same as just 1 miss for everyone else with the time that she makes up on the course. And wow, what a day!
Lampic skiing the course 19.1 seconds faster than Braissa Boucher, and probably giving up at least 10 seconds in the shooting range on time. Here now is Anna Magnussen. She won here last time she raced. She's not going to do it again today, but still challenging for a top 10.
Yep. And that result for Anna-Maria Lampic as well, you have to say, with just how well the Slovenian team are performing on both sides at the minute, a really encouraging result for them as they continue to leave a mark on this World Cup.
Yeah, her younger and inexperienced teammates really need her to step up in the relay and hit some targets. We know that she can ski well, but the relay is all about knocking targets down.
Anna Magnussen looking for a top 10 finish. She should. I think it will slip away from her. Hanna Ockenthaler currently occupying 9th, and it will be 10th for Anna Magnussen. Previous winner here at Le Grand Bonnard.
She hasn't been better than 24th this season, so I think she'll be happy with that.
Yep. And you say as well, good performance from Malin Kirkeide. 1 miss on the day. That's a step up for the Norwegian team.
And Kamila Zuk from Poland, a very unconventional leaderboard, as some of the big names that came in and could just taste the win here in Le Grand Bonnard, where the crowd is so loud and such a big part of the event. opened up some spots for some names we haven't really seen in the top 10. You've got Voigt in 6th. She was good last weekend. Grotjean gets 5th. Jima, who is a veteran, having a great race in 4th at the finish right now, and Simone, or Camilla Zuk in 8th. That's a great performance. Hanna Alcantara currently sitting in her personal best place of 9th for Italy.
Really good for Hanna Alcantara.
Here's Anita Kozica of Croatia, 83rd starter of 98. The A seeds are all in the finish now, and the unseeded skiers at the end of the field now making their way to the second shooting and towards the finish.
Yeah, just having to really readjust their 2 misses.
Well, that was an exciting race.
It was indeed. It was indeed. And, well, what a way to do it. Justine Bouchard-Boucher. Franziska Preuss gave it everything. And, well, the same time differential between first and second as what we saw yesterday in an equally exciting race for the men as Martin Uldal pipped Johannes Tingersbo to the line. And really, when you look at those numbers, it makes for a very exciting pursuit to come as well.
Yeah, and I think just looking back on, if I'm going to just blanket picture the day, the French women came in really strong. They had a great first shooting stage, but from that point on, this was the only one who could manage the pressure of the situation. And she's the most experienced of the French athletes out there, except for Simone.
Yeah, she's only one to get a victory here in the past, the only French woman ever to do it. And it's interesting you mentioned that pressure, because Lou Jean Monod described it. She put it perfectly and said, Le Grand Bonnat, it gives and it takes a lot of energy.
Yes.
And I think that's a perfect way of putting it. It's somewhere where if you can really absorb the pressure, the noise, everything that comes with this location and this home crowd, it can really work for you. But on the flip side, if you can't handle that, then it can become a really challenging day, even though it is home snow.
Oh yeah, I mean, just watching the athletes walk through the stadium, the French athletes are just, they're walking through the stadium and people are cheering like they're racing. They're just walking to the start.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with that psychologically, especially if you do start and you clean the first stage, then the pressure just mounts for the standing position.
Well, we saw that when we were here on Wednesday for the training sessions, that the hits were being celebrated like it was an actual race, and this was just training, and they were cheered all the way round. And it was quite surprising actually to see how many turned out just to support the athletes in training, and that just adds to it all. Histova of Bulgaria, another who's shot clean today, 10 out of 10, and will secure herself a place in the pursuit tomorrow.
And there for the United States in 40th place, 2 misses. Kristova right 1 spot ahead of her clean. Kristova's personal best 24, so a little outside of that, but still happy to be in the pursuit tomorrow. A happy mix of nations in the flower ceremony. You got Germany, 3 in the top 6 today. That is an outsized performance by the German team, I think.
Well, I think this is a German team, particularly on the women's side, who are just showing so much strength and depth. And particularly the youngsters stepping up. It was Tannheimer, who we've seen doing really well. She finished in 50th as things stand, so she will be in the pursuit. But well down the order, we've got Franziska Preuss, Grotjean and Voigt all in the top 10. The next best below that is Vidal, 42nd. And we know as well that Julia Tannheimer can perform a lot better than 50th. It's just the fact that she's still only 19 years old and still figuring out this game of biathlon.
New venue, new shooting range.
Yep.
You have to figure all those things out to succeed. As we watch Maria Remenova of Slovakia. 2 misses for her in the final shooting stage. And we'll kind of watch for anybody trying to make it into that top 60. And that kind of becomes the focus of this the last seed group. We've got Kostargina clean from Lithuania in Bib 87. She's trying to sneak into that top 60. She's only 46 seconds back after shooting 2, so great day for her. Kostargina, a veteran of the sport.
sur le pas de tir. Les derniers debout qui vont se
39 years old.
98 sur la liste de départ ce matin. Quelques absentes, on l'a dit, de dernière minute.
So final shooters making their way towards the shooting range. And Anna Maria Lampic getting her first career podium.
Spectacular. It feels like it's all starting to come together for her. She's had the speed for so long, making the transition over from cross-country skiing. It's been the shooting where she's desperately needed to improve if she's to make a jump up from just flower ceremonies to podiums, and she's done that today.
There's no guarantee of it either. If you think about Stina Nielsen from Sweden, she switched 5 years ago and really didn't make a splash on the sport. She's gone back now to cross-country skiing and skiing long-distance marathon skiing, like the Loppet racing, and joined a Norwegian team. So Stina Nielsen has hung up her biathlon rifle, but just a few months after she did that, Anna-Maria Lampic gets her first podium.
Inka Hämäläinen of Finland, wearing bib number 95, celebrated her 19th birthday on Tuesday. This is just her 8th World Cup start. One miss from the prone position. And starting with a miss in standing.
Tries to refocus, but just not looking like she's stable with the rifle. It's now she's getting a little bit of a groove. Gets the last 3.
The youngest athlete out on the circuit.
Finland looking for the next Kaisa Mäkäräinen, and Suvi Minkkinen appears to be appearing in those shoes of the great 3-time World Cup overall winner from Finland.
Yeah, breakout season really for the 30-year-old, and well, when you look particularly at those around Venla Lehtinen, they only started one bib apart today, and you feel as well the success of those two and the fact that they've been able to increase their ski speed so much. Lehtinen as well, 13th across the line today, which is a brilliant, a huge personal best, a huge performance for her. You feel like that will trickle down to the young Inka Hämäläinen as well at some point.
Well, I think they have to do 2 things. They have to look at what happened with their training this year. They're both skiing much faster, and then they have to look at what happened with their shooting. I mean, Minkkinen's shooting is huge improvement, and even Lehtinen, she's 3% better than last year, but she was 86% shooter 2 seasons ago, but was 4% slower than the average of the field. She's improved that 6% in 2 seasons. That's a big move for Lehtinen at 29 years of age.
Yeah. It feels like the experience and the maturity of both her and Suvi Minkkinen really coming to a head now. Suvi Minkkinen turning 30 the day after her first career podium on home snow in Kontiolahti.
Stadium just waiting to party and celebrate the 2nd victory ever by a French woman on this storied venue. 6th time the World Cup has stopped here, and it is spectacular every time they do.
Yep, the grandstand in front of us, expectant, everyone packing in, waiting, and you just know, Chad, that we're going to be experiencing a pretty special rendition of the French national anthem in, well, the next 25 minutes or so.
Here's Kostadina. Very solid performance for her. Hasn't done anything like this in a while. See where she comes in the overall standings.
Yeah, it'll be enough for the Lithuanian to be lining up for the pursuit tomorrow.
25th for her.
La Française qui a matché aujourd'hui, qui a fonctionné incroyablement. Donc on avait effectivement avancé. Hein.
Dans la cabine, il avait dit qu'il la sentait bien, Justine, aujourd'hui, que c'était peut-être son jour. Justine.
Oh, Justine Bressard-Boucher doing her media duties, and it won't be long until we see her leading out the flower ceremony just ahead of Franziska Ploris.
Well, we have to sing the praises of Preuss too. She goes
absolutely.
clean and an absolute pressure cooker. She knows she's getting pressured on the skis. The crowd is not in favor of her. They're cheering for the people who she's trying to beat, and still comes through. Shoots clean on the day, misses the victory by a relatively small margin, 1.4 seconds off the win, and again inside the top 5. Second today. She's been on the podium now 4 of 6 individual races, and she's never finished worse than 5th.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Amazing season.
Such a consistent start to the season, and particularly when you look at the last 2 seasons, having to end them early, you just hope that she can keep this up.
Here's Grace Castanway now, trying to get her personal best, 9 of 10 on the shooting range, and she's only 2:16 back. This may get her on to the pursuit for the first time, but it's going to be very tight. Bib 60 is the lead. She gets get inside 60. 58th, Gambika, and she's going to do it just by the skin of her teeth. Grace Castanway will start the pursuit for the first time in her young career.
Well, fighting towards the line there. She's given it absolutely everything. But that should be enough for her to line up tomorrow on the pursuit.
Still a few more athletes out there, but it's for sure her best performance. I think her best performance prior to today for Castanway was 74th. So a nice big improvement for her into 58th now for the U.S. And right now, the Americans doing something they haven't done in a while, putting all 3 starters into the pursuit. Margie Fried is sitting in 51st if these results hold.
Yeah.
Good day for them.
Yeah, the Americans certainly getting lots of things right as they start this season. Particularly a good performance for the men in the relay, back-to-back 6th places. Romanova, Slovakia. Fall outside the time and the position that she needs to qualify for the pursuit tomorrow. Ten athletes still out on the course. All through the final stage of shooting, the range closed. And the majority through the 5.7 kilometre mark.
Big step forward for that woman right there, Anna-Maria Lampic. Got a lot of flack from the cross-country community 4 years ago when she switched over after winning the overall World Cup Sprint Globe. She promptly decided and swiftly decided just weeks afterwards to tell the world that she's going to go into biathlon. Spent some time with the great Rico Gross, the German coach that took over Slovenia for a while. He's since moved on, but he told me that he thinks that she will get a podium. It may take a little bit of time, but here we are 4 years later, and she's got that podium.
Stavlina, 3 misses in the standing. And also outside of the required 60th position for the pursuit. Always an extra challenge starting in these later bibs. So much of the closing stages of your race all alone.
Going to be outside the top 60, so just racing for pride and place now.
Her first World Cup start though. And a big smile on her face for completing that feat.
Oh, Inka Hämäläinen moves ahead of Grace Castanway, so Castanway now in the penultimate spot to move on to that pursuit. She's in 59th. Hämäläinen moves into 58th, the 19-year-old.
Yeah, and that's a really strong performance from the Finnish team. They struggled yesterday in the on the men's side of things in the sprint, and didn't have the athletes that they'd have wanted into the pursuit. But the women performing a lot better. Hämäläinen joining Suvi Minkkinen and Venla Lehtinen in the pursuit, and so only one of the Finnish team not making tomorrow's pursuit as things stand. Also waiting on the finish of Shauna Pendry of Great Britain, the 22-year-old, also on her debut. And Milana Geneva of Kazakhstan as well, one of a number of athletes today. I think it's 4 making their first World Cup starts. Sandra Belina, 4 misses. They also fall outside of the top 60 today. Third for Belina. Shauna Pendry over the line in 89th on her debut.
Let's see the Union Jack on the women's finishing order. It's been a while since we've seen a British skier on the World Cups, and she's earned her spot through the IBU Cup selection. Milana Geneva now of Kazakhstan, the second to last finisher on the day. And then we'll wrap this party zone up.
And the French crowd making sure she's feeling all the love and support as she crosses the line on her first ever IBU World Cup.
Victoire, deuxième victoire au Grand Bornand. Justine, c'est peut-être moi qui va te donner un petit mot ou des mots au public, parce que là c'est vraiment le micro du public.
She's one of 4 first-time World Cup starters today. Is Geneva, Shauna Pendry, Lilia Steblina of Ukraine.
So Justine Bressard-Boucher addressing the crowd, and that's special, isn't it? We don't see that very often straight after a race. And the party really starting now in the stands in front of us. Hanna Blitterkasik, 4 misses also for her, wearing bib 98, and it's a long fight to the finish. Gritting her teeth. Rounding the corner, our last athlete out on the course. Cheered all the way to the line. Finishing in 91st, our last athlete to take to the course. And our final over the line. She thanks the crowd, and they duly respond. Now, well, the party really does start. Justine Bressard-Boucher, another historic victory here in Annecy. Le Grand Bonnard always delivering for her. 2017, she was the first French woman to stand atop the podium. No one has done it since, but she's done it again today. This time it's the sprint. 2017, it was the mass start. Franziska Ploys just 1.4 seconds behind, continuing her excellent form this season. She opens the gap and tightens her grasp on the yellow bib. And Anna-Maria Lampic, a first career podium, clean in the prone position, 2 misses in the standing, but those 2 misses, when you have the ski speed that she carries, almost well, the same as 1 miss for anyone else. Julia Zima of Ukraine, shooting clean on the day, 19.1 seconds down. She finishes in 4th. Selina Grotian, one of the young Germans who have been impressing so far on the circuit this season. 1 miss for her. She's in 5th, and just behind her, Vanessa Voigt, also in good form this season. She rounds out the flower ceremony. Clean shooting on the day for her. Julia Simon 7th. Camilla Zuk of Poland, a really impressive performance for her. Hannah Ockenthaler 9th. Anna Magnussen rounding out the top 10. And reminder, it's the top 60 who would progress through to tomorrow's pursuit. We are on to double days as the weekend hits. Both the men and women taking to the snow for the pursuit tomorrow before the mass start on Sunday. But the French crowd here living in the here and now. Celebrations will continue late on into the night. Let's take a look at the total score results after 6 competitions. Franziska Ploys, a 98-point gap. She's opened up on Lou Jean Monod. The top 3 don't change. Elvira Urberg remains in 3rd. Vanessa Voigt, though, up to 5th. It's Marketa Davidova who goes down into 5th. Brisa Boucher leaping up the order into 6th. Suvi Minkkinen holds on to 7th. Ella Halverson down 2 places into 8th. Julia Simon 9th. And Carolina Norton in 10th. That is your top 10 in the total score after 6 competitions. And a change in terms of the blue bib as well. Jean Richard taking it off the shoulders of her French compatriot, Oceane Michelon.
I think what we're witnessing here in this overall bid is one of the most consistent performances in recent memory from an individual in Franziska Ploys. 6 races now, worst finish, 5th place, 2 wins, 2 podiums, a 4th and a 5th, and that she's doing great biathlon.
She is indeed, and well, I think a lot of those of a German persuasion and maybe some neutrals in the crowd would argue that it's definitely coming to the right person after all the challenges she's had over the course of the last couple of years.
Yeah, she's been good, and everybody tagged her as a junior to be a star of the future. She really hasn't lived up to that. Injuries, sickness, the wear and tear of the sport on her, but she is having one heck of a breakout here this year is Franziska Ploys late in her career, and it couldn't come soon enough. Another breakout performance here, Anna Maria Lampic, first podium. Everybody's known she can do it. Today, she hits 8 for 10 and finds herself in the 3rd spot on the podium. And now biathlon is her sport.
Well, it feels like it's been a long time coming for Anna Maria Lampic, and she has performed really strongly to back up that ski speed in the range. Franziska Ploys, so that consistency continues. It's not a 3rd victory today, but it is another incredibly strong performance, and it's as you look back over the course of particularly in terms of the red bibs rather than necessarily the yellows, it's consistency rather than those victories that really does pay off at the end of the season.
Yeah, that's really this woman's kind of Achilles heel. Justine Brisa-Boucher is, when she's on, she's as electric and as exciting as any biathlete that ever took to the sport. However, she is very inconsistent in the shooting range. She comes in one time, she's very focused and nails the shots like she did today. She hit 9 for 10. It's not perfect, but it was a more perfect than we've seen her all season long, and it results in her 2nd victory in front of this home crowd. And I don't think right now there is a better thing to do in biathlon than be French and win Le Grand Bernard.
I think that's probably something she might allude to in her post-race interviews, and the way she addressed the crowd as well. You can You can just feel how special it is, not just for her, for this crowd. There's pictures of her,
You are the only
as we can hear from her now.
French woman to win 2 times in Le Grand Bornand. First time it was 7 years ago, and now it's today. How does it feel to win in front of your home crowd?
I am a very lucky athlete, French athlete actually, because it's crazy to win here at home with such a crowd and pushing every time on the shooting range, on the track, even on training days. They're crazy, and I thank them very much.
Franziska was going first after the second shooting. Did you watch her last lap? And what about your last lap? It seems like you pushed so hard and gave everything away.
I knew about Franziska Preuss just right before the crossing the lines. You know, I didn't know she was so close. So I just did my best, and you know, it was like I try to be fair play. If she wins, she wins. You know, it's okay, and I'm just very proud of her, how I managed with my ski and with the rifle on the mat.
And you did an amazing job. Congratulations again.
Thank you very much. See you.
Well, she skipped away from that interview and definitely more than alluded to it there, just how special it is. She says the luckiest French woman. We can look at the sprint score as well. Franziska Preuss wearing, of course, the split bib today. She holds on to the red bib. And you can see it just really isn't at the minute Lou Jean Monod's event. Down in ninth, you'd have expected a lot more.
It's the first time in a while, well, since mid-season last year, that I've seen Lou Jean Monod kind of lose it in the shooting range. We've never seen, she's so stable that, you know, she'll miss a shot here, miss a shot there. But that was a pretty big meltdown for her emotionally, and I think it's going to be a tough one for her to pick herself up off the floor, because I think she could sense that if she went clean, she had a chance to win today. And that's biathlon. It happens. You think those thoughts into your mind, and we all do it. We're human, but Lou Jean Monod has to find the magic now in the pursuit on Saturday.
Yeah, she seems to get it really right in the pursuit, though. In Hochfilzen last week, it was this time last week, it'll be exactly a week on. She said that her focus was just on shooting well, and she put so much effort into shooting well that really the skiing just fell into place. And if she can get back to that kind of mindset that she had for the pursuit, we could see her on the podium. It's still a long weekend of racing to come. 2 events left for the women, of course, and as well for the men. Franziska Preuss holding on and opening the gap on Lou Jean Monod, though, in the yellow bib. Juma just waiting for Justine Braissard-Boucher to find her way to the front of the order as they walk out for the flower ceremony. And well, the noise, incredible.
Sylvia Becker, the namesake of the venue on the right, Katarina Dafowska of the IBU. She's an Olympic champion in 2002, handing out the flowers today.
And Anna-Maria Lampic, her first career podium. It's been a long time coming. She has the ski speed, the fastest on the circuit last season. And she now is starting to show signs that she has the shooting performance to back it up.
And just such a positive and happy person. I think that she's the sport of biathlon, you need to be that way. You need to be able to blow off a bad day. And she's had a bunch of them, but today's a good one for Anna-Maria Lampic.
And you can see how much it means to her. So from someone with a first podium to someone who you can't keep off them this season, and you can't keep her out of the flower ceremony. She hasn't finished any worse than 5th. She was so close to a 3rd career victory after only her 2nd in Hochfilzen. But it's 2nd place again for Franziska Preuss. The queen of consistency continues.
Biathlon can feel so cruel sometimes, and this woman has felt the cruelness of the sport so many times, but she's currently on a high and riding that wave.
But no one on a bigger high than Justine Bressard-Boucher. She does it again here at Le Grand Bonnard. France topped the podium in the women's sprint. Justine Bressard-Boucher will be leading the women out tomorrow in the pursuit. The only woman to win here, the only French woman to win here at Le Grand Bonnard, and she's done it twice. The last time, 2017, 7 years on, she does it again. A spectacular day for French biathlon, one that will go down in history. Justine Bressard-Boucher with the gold medal hung around her neck. 1.4 seconds, Franziska Preuss trailed, and a first podium for Anna-Maria Lampic. Julia Juma, a first flower ceremony in quite some time for the Ukrainian. A veteran showing her strength today. Golotian of Germany, one of the promising youngsters, leaving her mark on the World Cup this season, joined by one of the more experienced in the team, Vanessa Voigt.
You gotta love the German performance today is a proof positive that they've got the right mojo going right now for these younger athletes. Some of the younger athletes struggling today, but Grosjean gets in the flower ceremony 2nd time this season.
Yeah, 5th as well in the sprint in Hochfilzen. And of course that historic German victory in the relay, the first time in 4 years, and they are carrying that momentum and carrying it well. And that is something that Justine Bressard-Boucher will want to do over the next 2 days. 2 more days of racing here in Annecy, Le Grand Bonnard. Creating incredible memories once again for this French crowd. Goosebumps. Both the stands in front of us packed out as the national anthem rings around the stadium. Plenty of volunteers in their orange hats as well, coming over to join in with the national anthem. A really special moment for all of those of a French persuasion, of which there are many. The majority of that stand holding a French flag as the mascot launched into the crowd, and that is why they get here so early, because you want a prime position, and you just wonder whoever caught it Will that be a similar story to that of Oceane Michelon?
We might be calling their number in 15 years.
We might be. That's exactly what happened back here in 2013 as she received the flowers from one Johannes Tingersveld. Today, though, it is Justine Bressard-Boucher's day. She will lead the way in the pursuit tomorrow. And we will be back here tomorrow for that pursuit. For both the men and the women, we go into double days, and up first is the men's 12.5 kilometre pursuit at 12:30 Central European time, followed by the women at 12:45 Central European time as they take on the 10 kilometre course. Spectacular day here at Le Grand Bernard, and we hope you join us once again tomorrow.